One of the greatest threats to the county now is the unfunded pension liability. What that means is over the years, we've had county employees in the county putting into retirement plans, okay? Eventually, the people who are in those plans retire, and depending which plan they're in, some of them will retire on 2% per year, which means if they work 30 years, they'll get 60% of their ending salary. Others are at 3% a year, which means that if they work 20 years, okay, at 3% a year, they'll get 60% of their ending salary. If they work 30 years, they'll get 90% of their ending salary. So that's kind of how the formula works. The threat at this point is we seem to have clearly not planned for the day when everybody would be retiring and drawing on those pension funds, because where we are now, the projection is currently that it's $500 million and growing unfunded pension liability, meaning as these people retire, the county does not have the money to pay their pensions. And that's a huge problem. And it needs to be addressed now because it's growing every year. When addressing this problem, there are two very important aspects to it. Number one, you stop immediately offering these packages that we could no longer afford to the new employees. Stop offering what we cannot afford, change the package. If they accept the offer, they accept a job, they know what they're getting at the time they're hired. That way, at least from this point forward, we have done some corrective actions that are going to resolve the problem. This is a perfect example. It's politics as usual. Politics as usual that we cannot afford anymore. Putting Band-Aids on huge problems, kicking the can down the road for somebody else to deal with it later on. Well, the day of reckoning is here. We need to deal with it now. We cannot continue with the status quo approach to these big business problems. I own my own business. I have for 23 years. I understand that when you have an issue like this, you cannot let it go unattended. You've got to address it head on, cut it off at the pass before it becomes so big that you can't fix the problem.